Our chapter, Discerning Growth, is about the rhizomatic ways that partnership can move. And by rhizomatic, we mean underground, not necessarily visible, and not linear sequential, right? So they may branch off in a number of different directions, and they may generate all kinds of new connections that perhaps weren't anticipated, perhaps aren't immediately discernible. And so much of partnership work is invisible in that way. It goes on through dialogue that is private. It goes on in people's own minds and bodies when they're not literally in dialogue. And it spreads in all kinds of ways that aren't easily traceable. You can trace them if you start to try to map them, but so much of partnership work is unconscious, I think, and also so the analog is to sort of underground, and pops up in surprising places, right, and has multiple manifestations that may be discerned through a kind of a mapping, but may also just be surprising. And so that's really what that chapter is about, and it tries to reproduce that rhizomatic idea in the way that it's structured. So we don't necessarily start at the beginning and go to the end, but we offer glimpses of moments in partnership that enact this rhizomatic idea. So when Sasha and I were planning this chapter, we talked a lot about what to focus on, what to foreground, what we might do to work against that tendency to write in a linear sequential way, to tell single coherent stories, and what was it from her perspective as a student, as someone who studied biology, who really understands rhizomes from a biological perspective, and from my perspective as someone who's in education and not in biology, and a faculty member and a program director, sort of how could we bring those different perspectives together and capture moments or phenomena within the larger metaphor of rhizomatic growth and present those in a way that was constantly working against people's assumptions about linearity and arboreal ways of understanding to really emphasize the rhizomatic.